haven't gone well. You know, he said he's responsible, players, everybody's responsible. For him to go up there and say it's different, does that, you know, coming from a guy like him, does that mean something?
Yeah, you know, it gives us a lot of confidence, you know, because he's confident in us and we're confident in him, and we're just go out there and get the job done.
A lot of people have said, whether it's fair or not, that he is too hard on you guys publicly a little bit. Did you have to get used to his style a little bit? Because I don't want to say throwing under the bus, but when things don't go well, you know, you had the old Coach Fulmer style. They'd never really talk about a player, but Coach Dooley seems to be one of these newer guys who says, hey, I messed up. I mean, did it shock you at first when maybe he said some things?
I mean, yeah, it did at first, but I mean, you got to get used to it. You can't, you know, take it to heart or anything. You know, you just got to go out there and play. And, you know, he never lies on anybody. You know, if you mess up, you mess up. The world sees it, and he's going to just call it out.
Did it bother you at first, though, before you got used to it? Because I've heard some guys say that at first it almost kind of got under their skin for a little bit. Then they said, no, wait, he treats everybody that way.
I'm a tough-skinned person, so it never really bothered me.
Well, who's the toughest player in this conference for you to block?
Toughest player? There's a lot of different players. I couldn't just say just one, I guess.
There's not one guy that stands out from last year. You remember, boy, that was kind of a long day.
Be here?
Yeah.
The best person I ever blocked was Marcel Darius from Alabama. He was definitely the best person.
But other guys that are coming back, there's nobody that stands out?
There's not one guy that really stands out. No.
Is that maybe what stands out, that how tough this is week in, week out?
I mean, that's a good point. All these different opponents we see, they're great athletes, great defensive linemen. They have great skills, and they're coached by great coaches. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot of competition.
There's a lot of speculation you guys are going to throw the ball a bunch this year. As a lineman, how do you feel about that?
I just want to get the job done. Whatever play they call, as offensive linemen, we just got to execute and try our hardest to execute, and everything will take care of itself.
Do you guys, with the speculation that's obviously out there about Coach Dooley's status and so forth, is that something that registers with you guys at all, or you just go do your job and you don't care what people say outside the locker room?
I mean, we try not to listen to what they say, but, you know, it's definitely pressure on us to get the job done. You know, we want to do it for Coach Dooley. We want to do it for ourselves and, you know, our city of Knoxville. We're just trying to go out there, play as hard as we can, and win every game.
How many times have you been reminded that y'all had 2.7 yards per carry last season?
About 2 more minutes.
I know Jay Graham's
2 minutes.
told the running backs pretty much every day about that. How much have y'all been told that fact?
I mean, we hear it all the time. You know, our assistant offensive line coach just pulled out a bunch of stats and a bunch of, you know, comments people are saying in these new magazines and stuff. You know, we just added fuel to the fire that we've been working for all season. And, I mean, we want to go out there and prove to everybody what we're capable of.
To people who aren't around football, maybe they're fans, but they don't really know the X's and O's of it, those kind of people, how could you describe what all goes into the running game? Because everybody, you know, some people say, well, it's the back. Some people say, well, it's the line. Some people say, well, it's the quarterback's got to call it right. What all goes into the running game?
You know, a lot. It's the offensive line. I feel like it starts with the offensive line. Then you got to go with I feel like not a lot is on the running back a lot of times. You know, sometimes the running back might not hit a hole here and there, but I feel like the offensive line is first, and then, you know, you got to be able to pass, so, you know, they don't just put a bunch of guys in the box. You have a passing threat, then they can add more guys in the box, and then the run game will slow down. But I think it's just the big part is the offensive line, just creating penetration, you know, just winning with your man.
Do y'all have a leader on offense or a couple of leaders that you can identify?
I feel like
because the defense has Herman and Prentice,
yeah.
I guess.
I feel like we have a couple of leaders with Tyler, you know, myself, Zach Fulton, Dallas. I feel like mainly the most guys people look up to are the offensive line now. You know, I feel like we've been putting in the most work and everybody's seen it and they respect us.
Does the quarterback have to be that guy to a certain extent? Because it's not, y'all know Tyler, you've known him for 3 years now. It's not his natural thing to just be loud and talk and step on people's necks or anything like that. But does a quarterback have to do that a little bit, and is he getting better at it?
I feel like he doesn't have to. You know, I feel like we should take care of that as offensive linemen, but Tyler has done a good job trying and done a good job, you know, of leading people in the right direction.
There's going to be a lot of talk in the fall about who's going to be starting tailback. And I know obviously you're not a coach. I'm not asking you that. But how have those workouts with them looked this summer?